There is a company in China called Changshin Memory Technologies. Most people outside the semiconductor industry have never heard of it. It is usually referred to as CXMT. CXMT was founded in 2016 with the goal of building a domestic Chinese memory industry. DRAM is one of the hardest semiconductor markets to enter. It requires enormous scale, extremely precise manufacturing, and years of experience to make it work. CXMT started by making simpler memory products for the Chinese domestic market. Its early technology was behind the global leaders, but the company kept investing, kept improving, and kept expanding. Today, CXMT is considered the fourth largest DRAM producer in the world. It is still far smaller than Samsung, SK Hynix, or Micron, but it is producing real chips at meaningful volume. Apple raised prices earlier this year, and most people assumed it was just Apple being Apple. But the real reason is the price of memory chips surged by 98% in the first 3 months of 2026. And the reason, artificial intelligence is consuming so much memory that there is not enough left for laptops. And Apple is now so desperate for supply that it is asking the United States government for permission to buy memory chips from a Chinese company that sits on the Pentagon's watch list. But why this is happening? There are different types of memory. For artificial intelligence workloads, the most important type is called Dynamic Random Access Memory, or DRAM. And within DRAM, the most valuable version right now is something called High Bandwidth Memory, which is also called HBM. High bandwidth memory sits right next to the artificial intelligence chip. It feeds data to the processor as fast as possible. Without enough of it, even the most powerful artificial intelligence chip cannot perform at full speed. The problem is, artificial intelligence companies are buying high bandwidth memory faster than it can be made. They are absorbing supply that used to go to laptops, tablets, and smartphones, and that is what caused the 98% price surge. Almost all of the world's memory chips come from 3 companies: Samsung in South Korea, SK Hynix, also in South Korea, and Micron in the United States. These 3 companies supply memory to basically every major electronics product on the planet. Phones, laptops, tablets, game consoles, cameras, all of it flows through them. Now imagine you run one of these companies and you have 2 customers. Customer number 1 is a laptop maker. They need standard memory chips. The chips cost a few dollars each. The laptop sells for $1,000 and your margin is okay. Customer number 2 is an artificial intelligence company building a data center. They need high bandwidth memory. The chips cost hundreds of dollars each. The server they go into costs $30,000 or $40,000. Your margin is significantly better. Which customer do you prioritize when your factory has limited capacity? That is the decision Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron are making right now. They are shifting their factories toward high bandwidth memory because it earns more money. That leaves less capacity for the ordinary DRAM that goes into MacBooks and iPads. Less supply plus the same or higher demand equals prices going up. Apple found itself on the wrong side of that equation, so it started looking for other options. Apple does not need CXMT to replace Samsung. Apple just needs another supplier. Even a modest additional source gives Apple more negotiating power and reduces how dependent it is on a very small group of companies. But there is a problem. CXMT appears on a list maintained by the United States Department of Defense. That list identifies Chinese companies that are alleged to have connections to China's military. Being on that list does not automatically make it illegal for an American company to buy from them, but it creates a serious amount of political, reputational, and regulatory risk. Qualifying a new memory supplier takes months. Apple has to test the chips, run them through simulations, check reliability across millions of devices. That process is expensive and time-consuming. What Apple does not want to do is spend 6 months qualifying CXMT memory, redesign its logistics, negotiate long-term contracts, and then have Washington introduce new restrictions that block the whole arrangement. So Apple reportedly went to the United States government first. It is asking for political clearance, confidence that this arrangement will be permitted long-term. The government has not publicly approved the request. No deal has been signed. What Apple is trying to do is open a door, not walk through it yet. And this is where the story gets complicated, because not everyone in Washington is going to see this the same way. Some lawmakers will argue that helping a Pentagon watchlist company become a major Apple supplier strengthens a strategic Chinese semiconductor business. They will oppose it. Others will argue that blocking an available supplier during a severe shortage just raises prices for American consumers and companies. They will support it. Apple has to navigate both sides of that argument at the same time, and the outcome is genuinely uncertain for now.